Hi, Taurus. Happy birthday. And happy Easter, if you celebrate Easter. What we're going to do is we're going to do a new spread called The Hidden. What it is it's going to be a spread about what is hidden from your awareness. It's going to discuss, we'll go through it when we do it. Anyway, check the description box for everything you need to know, including how to check what your rising moon and Venus sign are, using your natal chart, which you need to look up. We're going to start by doing your magnetic poetry, which we always do, but let's take it from the place of the hidden. Okay, so what is hidden from your awareness? Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is for May, by the way. The hidden from Taurus's awareness. Just going to try and put these in a list format if I can. So grab yourself a piece of paper. Okay, and pause the video so you can write these down, because I'm probably only going to do like 10 seconds of runtime for them. Okay, alright, so we'll put that over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the Gold Foil Tarot. If you want to know what specific one this is the Rose Gold Foil Tarot. I literally had it jump all over the place because the cardstock is not cardstock. It's like this cool plasticky stuff. But it's very springy and they're very slippery cards. So when I try to bridge them, they jump all over the place. And they're very, like I said, they're very slippery because I haven't used them much yet. So I'm gonna shuffle them up and we'll start. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the hidden for you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. See, I already have things that are jumping out, kicking out while I'm trying to bridge them. It's like I got a bunch of new decks during my birthday season back at the beginning of January. But I didn't have a whole lot of luck with decks that I could, shuffle like a normal human being. Like I got this deck, which is literally almost twice as thick as the other deck. So it's like I can't shuffle that one conventionally either. Well, actually I got 4 decks that were about the same thickness. Yeah, so it's like I have to keep it all close and enclosed so that I can do it. Otherwise, I just go all over the place. Might be a little concerned about losing control, or somebody's concerned that you're going to lose control in a situation. Yeah, they want to kick out from the back, from the sides, from above. One more. See, like I said, they want to kick out all over the place. Okay, twist for fairness for you. You even got to hold them like that because they're so slippery. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, just have coffee. Okay. I only take flippers and jumpers. Taurus, what is the heart of what is hidden from you? Well, what is hidden from your awareness about who you are at this time? Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is hidden from your awareness right now about what you are currently facing? Oh my gosh. Well, I didn't want to have that one kind of do its thing, but it did. Hierophant in the reverse. You're not connected with yourself in some regard. This is also kind of fitting since the Pope just died. Anyway, I digress. The Hierophant in the reverse. You're not giving yourself permission in some regard. This is also about a collapse of belief in a philosophy or highly structured organization, such as a religious organization, or even an organization that has its own tenets and laws and philosophies that consider themselves or hold themselves to a higher standard, almost like a higher order. There's a disconnectedness with this, or there's a feeling like there's a lack of belief in it, if you here with the Hierophant. There's also disconnectedness with the self, because the Hierophant is the Taurus card. Feeling as if you're not in a position to give people good advice, because this is also about sage advice, following a counselor or a wise sage. But then also feeling, because it is about the self in this position, and especially for you, being that it is your card, it's also about feeling that you're not capable of giving good advice, or is if the advice that you are attempting to follow isn't necessarily wise at this time. Depending on the surrounding cards, it can also at times mean divorce, but we would have to look at the surrounding cards in order to see where we're at with that. What in the past was hidden from your awareness? We're going to pull 3 cards to see what was before you that was hidden from your awareness. Hidden from Taurus's awareness in the past. What was before them? What came before? That was hidden from Taurus's awareness. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm hoping that the more that I use these cards, the more, oils from my hands and stuff like that get on them, so that they aren't so intensely difficult to shuffle, because they do get away on you just so quickly. And I don't want that to influence the read, Hidden from Taurus's awareness in the past. Okay, so we have 2. The King of Pentacles followed by the Star in the reverse with, what else? So right off the bat, we also have your card in the past with the King of Pentacles. The Star in the reverse, that's Aquarian energy, something during Aquarius season perhaps. Conversely, if it is an Aquarius season, it could be Leo season. So in the past Leo season, so that would have been last August, or during a Leo season in the past, in August of the past. But a hope or a dream being dashed, a very distant hope, goal, or dream being dashed in with long-term stability and security on the home front in mind. Like it's almost like that was sacrificed. Healing also, healing coming out of, see, this is why I am really annoyed with these cards. I don't even want to take what's fallen over here. Normally I would, but I don't know if I should. Of note for you, just in case you did want to know, it would be the Queen of Pentacles in the upright. So this is 2 sweet mates, King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles with a Star in the reverse in between them. But I'm not going to take it because it was just card vomit. But while I'm waiting to see what comes out, we can talk about this further. Coming out of healing, emerging from healing, having recognized security and stability in the home space, or how one provides that for others. But also the importance that it isn't necessarily like the weighing of importance in between providing for the home space and creating a hearth and home type of a warm hearth and home environment versus following one's star path, which is a dream of extreme emotional promise. Here we go. Yeah, the Hangman in the reverse. Pisces energy. I wanted to say science for some reason, but Scientology actually. But the Hanged Man in the reverse. Gaining perspective, having gained perspective on an issue. What was hidden from your awareness in the past was that there was perspective gained on the importance, the weighing of the two options of importance, whether or not the goal was worth it, was the dream worth it compared to having security in the home space. And at the end of the day, it seems that the Knight of Pentacles in the upright one versus the Star in the reverse, if we see those two together like that. Also healing energy there with the Star in the reverse, having completed the healing path, the healing journey. If it was a choice in between two individuals, we would say that it would be the Taurus was chosen over the Aquarius, at having gained perspective on an issue. The Hanged Man in the upright, he puts himself up on that pole so that he can see things and consider things from all different viewpoints. Voluntarily, of course. In the reverse, we have him having gained the perspective necessary to make the decision with appreciation for all viewpoints. And it seems as if a Pisces individual, an Aquarius individual, or a Taurus individual could appreciate the need for security and stability, and being the providership within the home far outweighed healing and the greater goal and promise of the situation. That's what was hidden from your awareness in the past, was the recognition of that. What is above you, what came down from the heavens, and is coming down from the heavens at this time, Taurus. Almost as if to crown you, we'll call it. Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is coming from the heavens that you are not aware of, or that you do not see, that is hidden from you at this time. Whoa. Sorry. Okay. We have the Ace of Cups. Beginning of a relationship, but often of great emotional fulfillment. Either that or a renewal of a relationship of great emotional fulfillment, followed by a feeling of trapped energy, or feeling as if your hands are tied, specifically a direct translation, my hands are tied, there's nothing I can do. A victimhood mindset, or a feeling of being stuck and stagnant. Often we call this, in the stars, we call this the mental prison, also being trapped in a mental prison, because if you see, this individual has the ability to walk out from that jail of sorts, if you will, anytime they just choose not to. Their feet are not bound, right? We'll get it more here in a second. What else is crowning, coming from above, that Taurus does not see? See, this is what I was talking about, and so that's like impossible. Being trapped in a mental prison, unable to move, unable to act, despite the beginning of this relationship of greater promise. I'm going to take this one because it's stuck on the board. Yeah, after carefully considering, because one has carefully considered all other options, they feel like they're damned to choose simply one option in an emotional situation. That's what's coming from above for you. Sorry, let's just grab these so we can read them as if they are a sentence for you. We have the beginning of an emotional relationship or something of great emotional fulfillment for you coming down from the heavens. It's what you're not aware of. Could also be the renewal of a current relationship, a new beginning within a current connection that you already have. Yet at the same time, there is a feeling of it like a being trapped in a mental prison or a victimhood mindset, really, because this person has all of the empowerment that they require to walk out of this prison of sorts at any time they so choose. So why is there this feeling of stagnancy or trappedness when this renewal or this new energy and a connection is happening? Just give me a sec. I got something in my tooth that's annoying. I was going to say something when I was picking at it. I was going to say that it's making it difficult to speak. This person, you or somebody else in this connection may be feeling that it's difficult to speak to something. But anyway, nonetheless, then we have here, this could be, we have here the Seven of Cups also. And it could be that the feeling of trapped or the feeling of being stuck in a mental prison, the stagnancy or being stuck, is a result of this. Now, if we had it in the upright, it would be having multiple options of an emotional nature, being able to choose from any of these cups. It can also be a warning, oftentimes, of building castles in the sky, because we don't necessarily know that each of these cups contains something of great promise. As you can see here, we have a cup with a snake. We have a cup with a phantom. We have a cup with, what is that there, like a monster or dragon or something? Yeah, it's like a lizard, you know? And there's poison in another cup. You know, you could be dealing with a cup of hot chocolate or a cup of shit. Do you know what I mean? Just because you have several cups to choose from does not mean that each of those cups is something amazing, right? In the reverse, a direct translation would be feeling as if one has no choice. So what is being handed down to you from the heavens that is hidden from your awareness right now is direct translation, beginning in a relationship or renewal in a current relationship, yet the feeling of being trapped, bound, or being stuck in a mental prison, for lack of a better term, because one doesn't have a choice but to choose what is being offered to them. They don't have options. I don't necessarily think that that's a great way to look at things. I think that's a victimhood mindset, being put into a position where you feel like, well, I have to choose this because I have no other choice. If we look at the Lovers card, you can actually see where oftentimes people will speak to the fact that sometimes choosing oneself is also a choice. As we see in the Nine of Cups, the Eight of Cups is walking away from what would normally be of great personal fulfillment with 8 cups intact, so that you can explore that ninth cup, which is then embodying self-worth and self-love and recognizing your self-worth. But that's what we're seeing here, is the opportunity to recognize one's self-worth. It's almost as if this is saying what's coming down from the heavens for you is an opportunity for renewal or new love or new emotional connection. However, there's a feeling of stagnancy or trappedness or a victimhood mindset because it feels like somebody's settling, or like they don't have any choice but to accept the cup that's being extended out to them because all of these other options don't exist for them. You know? That's what it says. I just showed you. Anyway. What is beneath you? What is hidden from your awareness that is coming from below you? So that's subconscious things, unconscious, the unconscious and subconscious. What is being hidden from your awareness from below? What do we have during this time? Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And this is going to be stuff that's like, you know, I mean, from above is the divinely sent. From below is going to be the stuff that's bubbling up to the surface from within oneself. Let's see. Or from the subconscious and unconscious from others. Let's see. What do I have, Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Can you tell I've had coffee today? I mean, if I could do this for a living, dude, Anyway. Okay, we have a flipper. I haven't been able to get many flippers in this deck because it's so slippy slidey. We have the Devil in the reverse. Devil in the reverse is indulgence to the point of excess. Devil in the reverse is addiction. Devil in the reverse is the feeling as if there is something that we're doing to the point of unhealthiness. It's bubbling to the surface for you. There is something that you're doing to the point of excess that is harming you. It's a call to action for you to embody a greater respect for the things upon the earth that you are indulging in. So there could be a warning here that is bubbling up from your subconscious, that is being hidden from your awareness right now, but is bubbling to the surface as we speak, where you're starting to realize where you're living in excess. Are you spending too much? Are you working too much? Are you drinking too much? Are you using something that is not for your greater good and is creating issues in your life, creating suffering in your life, creating hardship in your life, And again, not everything that causes these types of problems is illegal either. Think about the holicisms in life: workaholicism, shopaholicism, gambling, alcoholicism. It's not just like it's always addiction that is illegal. There are other things that can create that issue for you. But even then, it can also just be about learning a profound respect for the things upon the earth that we do indulge in. Because if you don't hold it in high regard and respect the power that you wield when you do indulge in certain things, it can become a problem. So if you don't take it seriously when you are indulging in excessive work or excessive drink or excessive gambling or excessive shopping or materialism or cigarette smoking or any of the other million and different things, pick one. What'll end up happening is, because you don't have a profound respect for the fact that it does wield such power on its own and that you are wielding the power of it when you indulge in it, all of a sudden you end up with a big bad problem. And it is the lack of respect for the power that you're wielding when you do indulge in it that creates the problem. Not respecting the fact that it is such a profound chemical or action that you're indulging in, or whatever it is. Remember that it can so easily, if we are not wary of it, become an issue. Anyway, soapboxing done, right? We'll see more about this in a second. There's something about the chains. I'm looking at the chains that, see here, the chains. For me, looking at the chains, when I put the card down, it's almost as if the chains were glowing gold. These are rose gold cards, so none of them have any yellow elements to them. They're all like a pinky color, which probably isn't translating very well on camera. But when I put the card down, I could see as if they were glowing gold, like yellow gold. So even codependency, in our relationships where we become codependent on each other, that's a form of addiction as well, when you're addicted to other human beings. Anyway, toss mine. What else? What else is beneath Taurus? This time the Magician in the reverse is trickery as well. Gemini energy. This is illusion. This is the Trickster by Radiohead. So there's an illusion that's being held here that everything is fine, or there's something that you're indulging in with a Devil card here that is creating an illusion or tricking people into believing something that is not necessarily true, or creating a facade. It could be that you're putting up a facade quite successfully at this time, and other people aren't necessarily realizing that there is an issue for you. It was something that you're indulging in. or that one of your vices is becoming a problem. It could also be that the reason that it is below your subconscious, just creeping below the surface of your subconscious, and below your awareness, is because there is illusion there that everything is just fine. You know, you'll meet these people who they weren't really aware of a problem until they were already almost at rock bottom with something going on in their life. Or the people who argue that they can't possibly have a problem with a vice or addiction until because they can afford to pay their bills, or because they're it's not impacting their work, or because there's always like a justification. But that's a part of the trickster energy of the magician. It's extremely deceiving and self-deception in and of itself, right? I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden we had the Five of Swords jump down here, because it is self-deception. To understand that we don't have something under control is very difficult for most people, because oftentimes when we are dealing with the devil card in the reverse, we don't necessarily realize it. Like, the fact that something is a problem isn't necessarily readily apparent to people. In fact, most of the time it isn't readily apparent to people. It only becomes that people are like, oh, I didn't really realize I had a problem, until they've lost like everything, you know? Okay. Finally, for you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus creeping below your subconscious. What you are not aware of in your subconscious is being hidden from your awareness at this time below you. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's rocking your foundations of your home space. It's actually creating an issue with the firm foundations that you've laid in your home space. This is also the four posts of the marriage bed. Four walls of the home is normally what I look at this as, but also the four posts of the marriage bed. So when we have this here with the devil card in the reverse and the magician in the reverse, the trickster energy is that you don't necessarily have a problem, but where it's really hitting you is either in a connection that has had a solidly, firmly laid foundation, or it could be impacting your home space. Like, your home space may not necessarily be on such a firm foundation as you thought it was, or it could be hitting the stability of your home space, or the stability of a connection that had higher implications when it came to commitment. And that's where I think that's the identifying factor here, is that's where you'll actually see it manifesting, where everything else seems to be humming along just appropriately so. That all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, well, I guess I really did have an issue, but I didn't really notice because everything was whirring away just fine. But then if you looked at this one area, you would probably be like, oh, I see now. I see that where the issue, is actually rearing its ugly head, and where, oh, I really do have a thing going on that's not so great. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and let's look at your final line here, the final portion of the box, which is going to be, by the way, I'm doing this in a box shape around you. What is hidden that is coming into play for you in the near future. So we're looking at the end of May, beginning of June for this. What is hidden from your awareness that will be coming into play for you moving forward into the future? Okay, so we have juggling energies, dropping of one of the two choices that you may be juggling. This is also rub two pennies together, so there could also be choosing in between two things that were causing you some financial burden. But more than that, the realization that as long as you're ambivalent with the universe and your energies, the universe will be ambivalent with you. And so making a decision to choose one path over another, or dedicate your energies to one thing over another. And in so doing, becoming more powerful. Sorry, one sec. Kind of just choked on my words there. Becoming more powerful in your focus, because you are focusing your energy as opposed to having it scattered. What else for Taurus? For Taurus during this time. Moving forward. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of a depression linked to this. Not necessarily a depression, but some of the precipitating energy. Like the depression precipitates lack of interest, right? And that's exactly what it is. It's a loss of interest, a feeling of, kind of like abandonment, loss, but more along the lines of that lack of interest. Like you're not interested in the cup that's being extended to you by the universe, never mind the cups that are sitting there in front of you that you have readily available. This is about emotional connections and emotional energy that's available to you in the future. It could just be that you're tired, you're exhausted. It could also be the realization that's been brought about by the fact that, you have this energy available to you, but you're not necessarily interested in it, that's being handed to you from the divine up above. With that start of a, new connection or the renewal of one. That feeling like you don't have a choice, like a lack of choice, or the feeling of quote unquote settling. It could be that you just don't have, like, you've got loss of interest linked to that. But also this line down here where we have the devil and we have the magenta, sorry, I always want to say magenta, wow. The magician and the magician in the reverse, and the four of wands in the reverse. It could also be that you're kind of just in a little bit of a funk and not really interested in exploring any sort of emotional connection. Emotional connections being those which sustain us, not just romantic connections, so friendship, family connections. So you might just not be interested in doing much of anything in terms of connecting with others, socializing, any of that kind of stuff. Just the realization that you have so much bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? What else? Finally, for Taurus, hidden from their awareness moving forward into the future. That was easy. King of Swords. Yeah, there's something of what is logical. Connecting with oneself. There's that Aquarius card again, into the future. However, it is about measuring up what is logical in one's mind and exercising powerful, divisive energy. Looking at strategic thinking as opposed to emotional thinking, and logic, and exercising good logic and intellect in your decision making moving forward. This is also about judgment, of course. King of Swords being a judge, a magistrate, a lawyer, probation officer, police officer. You could be coming into contact with those individuals, or going to court, and even networking with somebody from the criminal justice system. But what I think is most prevalent here is the idea and the invitation for you to survey things from a logical and strategic and intellectual perspective, using sound judgment and being of sound mind when you're exercising decision making, as opposed to coming from an emotional space. That's more for me what I get from that. And so that's what we have for you. I don't think I'm going to clarify. I even had the Deviant Moon Tarot out because I wanted to clarify, but if I can wrap these up in like 34 minutes, that's pretty dope. Bottom of the deck, she flew out at the beginning in what was in your past, what was hidden from you in the past. We still have the Queen of Pentacles showing up. Capricorn energy, feminine Capricorn energy, happens to be somebody who presides over the home from that luxurious space of comfort. Somebody who provides comfort in the home space, presides over the pentacle, but also is most interested in exercising ambition, determination, passion, and drive, hardworking energy in order to create a comfortable home space for those that they love. Also interested in luxury and refinement. somebody who creates not just, it creates really the home out of the house, but also is somebody who is most interested in their goal setting ability and their ability to strive for excellence in all that they do in order to provide people with that comfort within the home space. That's what we've got. Anyway, if you liked this read, I would have probably liked to be able to, expand on it a little bit more. But I think this was pretty good the way it worked out. If you thought it was good, do this. And if you like what I do, subscribe. We'll see you when we see you next. Happy birthday, Taurus. Bye.